UEFA Champions League. In today's video we'll learn about UEFA Champions League. Going through the sections: abstract, history, anthem, branding, format, referees, prizes, sponsorship, media coverage, records and statistics, external links. Abstract. The UEFA Champions League, abbreviated as UCL, is an annual club football competition organized by the Union of European Football Associations, UEFA, and contested by top division European clubs, deciding the competition winners through a group and knockout format. It is one of the most prestigious football tournaments in the world and the most prestigious club competition in European football, played by the National League champions, and, for some nations, one or more runners-up, of their national associations. Introduced in 1955 as the European Champion Clubs Cup, commonly known as European Cup, it was initially a straight knockout tournament open only to the champions of Europe's domestic leagues, with its winner reckoned as the European Club Champion. The competition took on its current name in 1992, adding a round-robin group stage in 1991 and allowing multiple entrants from certain countries since 1997. It has since been expanded, and while most of Europe's national leagues can still only enter their champion, the strongest leagues now provide up to 4 teams. Clubs that finish next in line in their national league, having not qualified for the Champions League, are eligible for the second-tier UEFA Europa League competition, and from 2021, teams not eligible for the UEFA Europa League will qualify for a new third-tier competition called the UEFA Europa Conference League. In its present format, the Champions League begins in late June with a preliminary round, 3 qualifying rounds and a playoff round, all played over 2 legs. The 6 surviving teams enter the group stage, joining 26 teams qualified in advance. The 32 teams are drawn into 8 groups of 4 teams and play each other in a double round-robin system. The 8 group winners and 8 runners-up proceed to the knockout phase that culminates with the final match in late May or early June. The winner of the Champions League qualifies for the following year's Champions League, the UEFA Super Cup and the FIFA Club World Cup. In 2020, the traditional schedule for UEFA matches was disrupted due to the impact of the COVID-19 pandemic. The format of the remainder of the tournament was temporarily amended as a result, with the quarterfinals and semi-finals being played as single-match knockout ties at neutral venues in Lisbon, Portugal from 12 to 23 August. Spanish clubs have the highest number of victories, 18 wins, followed by England, 13 wins, and Italy, 12 wins. England has the largest number of winning teams, with 5 clubs having won the title. The competition has been won by 22 clubs, 12 of which have won it more than once and 8 successfully defended their title. Real Madrid is the most successful club in the tournament's history, having won it 13 times, including its first 5 seasons. Bayern Munich are the reigning champions, having beaten Paris Saint-Germain 10 in the 2020 final. This project compresses information gathered from Wikipedia in video format. Why should I watch it? Studies prove that reading while listening improves comprehension, increases speed as well as expands vocabulary and enhances fluency. Provide your feedback on the comments section. Support the channel by subscribing and liking the video, thanks. History. The first pan-European tournament was the Challenge Cup, a competition between clubs in the Austro-Hungarian Empire. The Mitropa Cup, a competition modeled after the Challenge Cup, was created in 1927, an idea of Austrian Hugo Meisel, and played between Central European clubs. In 1930, the Coupe des Nations, French, Nations Cup, the first attempt to create a cup for national champion clubs of Europe, was played and organized by Swiss club Servette. Held in Geneva, it brought together 10 champions from across the continent. The tournament was won by JPEST of Hungary. Latin European nations came together to form the Latin Cup in 1949. After receiving reports from his journalists over the highly successful South American Championship of Champions of 1948, Gabriel Hannett, editor of Wikipedia, began proposing the creation of a continent-wide tournament. After Stan Cullis declared Wolverhampton Wanderers champions of the world following a successful run of friendlies in the 1950s, in particular a 32 friendly victory against Budapest H8, Hannett finally managed to convince UEFA to put into practice such a tournament. It was conceived in Paris in 1955 as the European Champion Clubs Cup. The first edition of the European Cup took place during the 195,556 season. 16 teams participated, some by invitation: Milan, Italy, AGF Aarhus, Denmark, Anderlecht, Belgium, Djurgården, Sweden, Guardia Warszawa, Poland, Hibernian, Scotland, Partizan, Yugoslavia, PSV Eindhoven, Netherlands, Rapid Wien, Austria, Real Madrid, Spain, Rot-Weiss Essen, West Germany, Saarbrücken, Saar, Servette, Switzerland, Sporting CP, Portugal, Stade Reims, France, and VRS Lovag, Hungary. The first European Cup match took place on September 4, 1955, and ended in a 33 draw between Sporting CP and Partizan. The first goal in European Cup history was scored by Jo Baptista Martins of Sporting CP. The inaugural final took place at the Parc des Princes between Stade de Reims and Real Madrid. The Spanish squad came back from behind to win 43 thanks to goals from Alfredo Di Stefano and Marquitos, as well as 2 goals from Turrial. Real Madrid successfully defended the trophy next season in their home stadium, the Santiago Bernabéu, against Fiorentina. After a scoreless first half, Real Madrid scored twice in 6 minutes to defeat the Italians. In 1958, Milan failed to capitalize after going ahead on the scoreline twice, only for Real Madrid to equalize. The final, held in Hazel Stadium, went to extra time where Francisco Gento scored the game-winning goal to allow Real Madrid to retain the title for the 3rd consecutive season. In a rematch of the first final, Real Madrid faced Stade Reims at the Neckar Stadion for the 1959 final, and won 20. West German side Eintracht Frankfurt became the first non-Latin team to reach the European Cup final. The 1960 final holds the record for the most goals scored, with Real Madrid beating Eintracht Frankfurt 73 in Hampden Park, courtesy of 4 goals by Ferenc Puskas and a hat-trick by Alfredo Di Stefano. This was Real Madrid's 5th consecutive title, a record that still stands today. Real Madrid's reign ended in the 196,061 season when bitter rivals Barcelona dethroned them in the first round. Barcelona themselves, however, would be defeated in the final by Portuguese side Benfica 32 at Wankdorf Stadium. Reinforced by Eusebio, Benfica defeated Real Madrid 53 at the Olympic Stadium in Amsterdam and kept the title for a 2nd consecutive season. Benfica wanted to repeat Real Madrid's successful run of the 1950s after reaching the showpiece event of the 196,263 European Cup, but a brace from Brazilian-Italian Joseph Altafini at the Wembley Stadium gave the spoils to Milan, making the trophy leave the Iberian Peninsula for the first time ever. Inter Milan beat an aging Real Madrid 31 in the Ernst-Happel-Stadion to win the 196,364 season and replicate their local rivals' success. The title stayed in the city of Milan for the 3rd year in a row after Inter beat Benfica 10 at their home ground, the San Siro. Under the leadership of Jock Stein, Scottish club Celtic defeated Inter Milan 21 in the 1967 final to become the first British club to win the European Cup. The Celtic players that day subsequently became known as the Lisbon Lions, all of whom were born within 30 miles of Glasgow. The 196,768 season saw Manchester United become the first English team to win the European Cup, beating SL Benfica 41 in the final. This final came 10 years after the Munich air disaster, which claimed the lives of 8 United players, and injuring their cup-winning manager, Matt Busby. In the 196,869 season, Ajax became the first Dutch team to reach the European Cup final, but they were beaten by AC Milan 41, who claimed their 2nd European Cup, with Pierino Prati scoring a hat-trick. The 196,970 season saw the first Dutch winners of the competition, with Rotterdam-based club Feyenoord knocking out the defending champions, Milan in the 2nd round, before defeating Celtic in the final. In the 197,071 season Ajax won the title, beating Greek side Panathinaikos FC in the final. The season saw a number of changes, with penalty shootouts being introduced, and the away goals rule being changed so that it would be used in all rounds except the final. It was also the first time a Greek team reached the final, as well as that it was the first season that did not have Real Madrid participating in it. The Spanish Giants had finished 6th in the La Liga and failed to qualify. Anthem. Zinedine Zidane. The UEFA Champions League anthem, officially titled simply as Champions League, was written by Tony Britton, and is an adaptation of George Friedrich Handel's 1727 anthem Zadig the Priest, one of his coronation anthems. UEFA commissioned Britain in 1992 to arrange an anthem, and the piece was performed by London's Royal Philharmonic Orchestra and sung by the Academy of St Martin in the Fields. Stating the anthem is now almost as iconic as the trophy, UEFA's official website, as it is known to set the hearts of many of the world's top footballers aflutter. The chorus contains the three official languages used by UEFA: English, German, and French. The climactic moment is set to the exclamations "Die Meister," "Die Besten," "Les Grands Squipes," "the Champions." The anthem's chorus is played before each UEFA Champions League game as the two teams are lined up, as well as at the beginning and end of television broadcasts of the matches. In addition to the anthem, there is also entrance music, which contains parts of the anthem itself, which is played as teams enter the field. The complete anthem is about 3 minutes long, and has 2 short verses in the chorus. Special vocal versions have been performed live at the Champions League final with lyrics in other languages, changing over to the host nation's language for the chorus. These versions were performed by Andrea Bocelli, Italian, Rome 2009, Milan 2016 and Cardiff 2017, Juan Diego Flores, Spanish, Madrid 2010, All Angels, Wembley 2011, Jonas Kaufmann and David Garrett, Munich 2012, and Marisa, Lisbon 2014. In the 2013 final at Wembley Stadium, the chorus was played twice. In the 2018 and 2019 finals, held in Kiev and Madrid respectively, the instrumental version of the chorus was played by Two Cellos, 2018, and Astoria Girls, 2019. The anthem has been released commercially in its original version on iTunes and Spotify with the title of Champions League Theme. In 2018, composer Hans Zimmer remixed the anthem with rapper Vince Staples for EA Sports video game FIFA 19, with it also featuring in the game's revealed trailer. Branding. In 1991, UEFA asked its commercial partner, Television Event and Media Marketing, TEAM, to help brand the Champions League. This resulted in the anthem, house colors of black and white or silver and a logo, and the Star Ball. The Star Ball was created by Design Bridge, a London-based firm selected by Team after a competition. Team gives particular attention to detail in how the colors and Star Ball are depicted at matches. According to Team, irrespective of whether you are a spectator in Moscow or Milan, you will always see the same stadium dressing materials, the same opening ceremony featuring the Star Ball center circle ceremony, and hear the same UEFA Champions League anthem. Based on research it conducted, Team concluded that by 1999, the Star Ball logo had achieved a recognition rate of 94% among fans. Format. The UEFA Champions League begins with a double round-robin group stage of 32 teams, which since the 200,910 season is preceded by 2 qualification streams for teams that do not receive direct entry to the tournament proper. The 2 streams are divided between teams qualified by virtue of being league champions, and those qualified by virtue of finishing 2-4th in their national championship. The number of teams that each association enters into the UEFA Champions League is based upon the UEFA coefficients of the member associations. These coefficients are generated by the results of clubs representing each association during the previous 5 Champions League and UEFA Cup/Europa League seasons. The higher an association's coefficient, the more teams represent the association in the Champions League, and the fewer qualification rounds the association's teams must compete in. 4 of the remaining 6 qualifying places are granted to the winners of a 6-round qualifying tournament between the remaining 43 or 44 national champions, within which those champions from associations with higher coefficients receive byes to later rounds. The other 2 are granted to the winners of a 3-round qualifying tournament between the 11 clubs from the associations ranked 5 through 15, which have qualified based upon finishing 2nd or 3rd in their respective national league. In addition to sporting criteria, any club must be licensed by its national association to participate in the Champions League. To obtain a license, the club must meet certain stadium, infrastructure, and finance requirements. In 200,506 season, Liverpool and Armenia Bratislava became the first teams to reach the Champions League group stage after playing in all 3 qualifying rounds. In 200,809 season, both Bate Borisov and Anorthosis Famagusta achieved the same feat. Real Madrid and FC Barcelona hold the record for the most consecutive appearances in the group stage, having qualified 25 times in a row, 1997 present. They are followed by FC Porto and FC Bayern on 24, 1997 present. Between 1999 and 2008, no differentiation was made between champions and non-champions in qualification. The 16 top-ranked teams spread across the biggest domestic leagues qualified directly for the tournament group stage. Prior to this, 3 preliminary knockout qualifying rounds whittled down the remaining teams, with teams starting in different rounds. An exception to the usual European qualification system happened in 2005, after Liverpool won the Champions League the year before, but did not finish in a Champions League qualification place in the Premier League that season. UEFA gave special dispensation for Liverpool to enter the Champions League, giving England 5 qualifiers. UEFA subsequently ruled that the defending champions qualify for the competition the following year regardless of their domestic league placing. However, for those leagues with 4 entrants in the Champions League, this meant that, if the Champions League winner fell outside of its domestic league's top 4, it would qualify at the expense of the 4th-place team in the league. Until 201,516, no association could have more than 4 entrants in the Champions League. In May 2012, Tottenham Hotspur finished 4th in the 201,112 Premier League, 2 places ahead of Chelsea, but failed to qualify for the 201,213 Champions League, after Chelsea won the 2012 final. Tottenham were demoted to the 201,213 UEFA Europa League. In May 2013, it was decided that, starting from the 201,516 season, the winners of the previous season's UEFA Europa League would qualify for the UEFA Champions League, entering at least the playoff round, and entering the group stage if the berth reserved for the Champions League title holders was not used. The previous limit of a maximum of 4 teams per association was increased to 5, meaning that a 4th-place team from one of the top 3 ranked associations would only have to be moved to the Europa League if both the Champions League and Europa League winners came from that association and both finished outside the top 4 of their domestic league. In 2007, Michel Platini, the UEFA president, had proposed taking 1 place from the 3 leagues with 4 entrants and allocating it to that nation's cup winners. This proposal was rejected in a vote at a UEFA Strategy Council meeting. In the same meeting, however, it was agreed that the 3rd-place team in the top 3 leagues would receive automatic qualification for the group stage, rather than entry into the 3rd qualifying round, while the 4th-place team would enter the playoff round for non-champions, guaranteeing an opponent from one of the top 15 leagues in Europe. This was part of Platini's plan to increase the number of teams qualifying directly into the group stage, while simultaneously increasing the number of teams from lower-ranked nations in the group stage. In 2012, Arsene Wenger referred to qualifying for the Champions League by finishing in the top 4 places in the English Premier League as the 4th-place trophy. The phrase was coined after a pre-match conference when he was questioned about Arsenal's lack of a trophy after exiting the FA Cup. He said the first trophy is to finish in the top 4. At Arsenal's 2012 AGM, Wenger was also quoted as saying, "For me there are 5 trophies every season: Premier League, Champions League, the 3rd is to qualify for the Champions League." The tournament proper begins with a group stage of 32 teams, divided into 8 groups of 4. Seeding is used whilst making the draw for this stage, whilst teams from the same nation may not be drawn into groups together. Each team plays 6 group stage games, meeting the other 3 teams in its group home and away in a round-robin format. The winning team and the runners-up from each group then progress to the next round. The 3rd-place team enters the UEFA Europa League. For the next stage, the last 16, the winning team from one group plays against the runners-up from another group, and teams from the same association may not be drawn against each other. From the quarter-finals onwards, the draw is entirely random, without association protection. The tournament uses the away goals rule. If the aggregate score of the 2 games is tied, then the team who scored more goals at their opponent's stadium advances. The group stage is played from September to December, whilst the knockout stage starts in February. The knockout ties are played in a 2-legged format, with the exception of the final. The final is typically held in the last 2 weeks of May, or in the early days of June, which has happened in 3 consecutive odd-numbered years since 2015. In 201,920 season, due to the COVID-19 pandemic, the tournament was suspended for 5 months, with the final taking place in August. The following is the default access list. Changes will be made to the access list above if the Champions League and/or Europa League title holders qualify for the tournament via their domestic leagues. Referees. The UEFA refereeing unit is broken down into 5 experience-based categories. A referee is initially placed into Category 4 with the exception of referees from France, Germany, England, Italy, or Spain. Referees from these 5 countries are typically comfortable with top professional matches and are therefore directly placed into Category 3. Each referee's performance is observed and evaluated after every match. His category may be revised twice per season, but a referee cannot be promoted directly from Category 3 to the elite category. In cooperation with the UEFA refereeing unit, the UEFA Referee Committee is responsible for appointing referees to matches. Referees are appointed based on previous matches, marks, performances, and fitness levels. To discourage bias, the Champions League takes nationality into account. No referee may be of the same origins as any club in his or her respecting groups. Referee appointments, suggested by the UEFA refereeing unit, are sent to the UEFA Referee Committee to be discussed or revised. After a consensus is made, the name of the appointed referee remains confidential up to 2 days before the match for the purpose of minimizing public influence. Since 1990, a UEFA international referee cannot exceed the age of 45 years. After turning 45, a referee must step down at the end of his season. The age limit was established to ensure an elite level of fitness. Today, UEFA Champions League referees are required to pass a fitness test to even be considered at the international level. Prizes. Each year, the winning team is presented with a European Champion Clubs Cup, the current version of which has been awarded since 1967. From the 196,869 season and prior to the 200,809 season, any team that won the Champions League 3 years in a row or 5 times overall was awarded the official trophy permanently. Each time a club achieved this, a new official trophy had to be forged for the following season. 5 clubs own a version of the official trophy: Real Madrid, Ajax, Bayern Munich, Milan, and Liverpool. Since 2008, the official trophy has remained with UEFA and the clubs are awarded a replica. The current trophy is 74 centimeters, 29 inches, tall and made of silver, weighing 11 kilograms, 24 pounds. It was designed by Georg Stadelmann, a jeweler from Bern, Switzerland, after the original was given to Real Madrid in 1966 in recognition of their 6 titles to date, and cost 10,000 Swiss francs. As of the 201,213 season, 40 gold medals are presented to the Champions League winners, and 40 silver medals to the runners-up. As of 201,920, the fixed amount of prize money paid to the clubs is as follows. This means that, at best, a club can earn 82,450,000 of prize money under this structure, not counting shares of the qualifying rounds, playoff round or the market pool. A large part of the distributed revenue from the UEFA Champions League is linked to the market pool, the distribution of which is determined by the value of the television market in each nation. For the 201,415 season, Juventus, who were the runners-up, earned nearly 89.1 million in total, of which 30.9 million was prize money, compared with the 61.0 million earned by Barcelona, who won the tournament and were awarded 36.4 million in prize money. Sponsorship. Like the FIFA World Cup, the UEFA Champions League is sponsored by a group of multinational corporations, in contrast to the single main sponsor typically found in national top-flight leagues. When the Champions League was created in 1992, it was decided that a maximum of 8 companies should be allowed to sponsor the event, with each corporation being allocated 4 advertising boards around the perimeter of the pitch, as well as logo placement at pre- and post-match interviews and a certain number of tickets to each match. This, combined with a deal to ensure tournament sponsors were given priority on television advertisements during matches, ensured that each of the tournament's main sponsors was given maximum exposure. From the 201,213 knockout phase, UEFA used LED advertising hoardings installed in knockout participant stadiums, including the final stage. From the 201,516 season onwards, UEFA has used such hoardings from the playoff round until the final. The tournament's main sponsors for the 202,021 season were: Adidas is a secondary sponsor and supplies the official match ball, the Adidas Finale, and Macron supplies the referee uniform. Hublot is also a secondary sponsor as the official 4th official board of the competition. Panini was a partner of the UEFA Champions League until 2015 when Topps signed a deal to produce stickers, trading cards and digital collections for the competition. The tournament's previous sponsors were Nike, Ford, Amstel, Nutella, Eurogard, Continental, McDonald's, Vodafone, UniCredit, HTC, Sony Xperia, Philips, Snickers, M&M's, Mars, Carlsberg, Canon, Reebok, Motorola, Sharp. Individual clubs may wear jerseys with advertising. However, only one sponsorship is permitted per jersey in addition to that of the kit manufacturer. Exceptions are made for non-profit organizations, which can feature on the front of the shirt, incorporated with the main sponsor or in place of it, or on the back, either below the squad number or on the collar area. If clubs play a match in a nation where the relevant sponsorship category is restricted, such as France's alcohol advertising restriction, then they must remove that logo from their jerseys. For example, when Rangers played French sides Auxerre and Strasbourg in the 199,697 Champions League and the UEFA Cup, respectively, Rangers players wore the logo of Centre Parcs instead of McEwen's Lager. Both companies at the time were subsidiaries of Scottish and Newcastle. Media coverage. The competition attracts an extensive television audience, not just in Europe, but throughout the world. The final of the tournament has been, in recent years, the most watched annual sporting event in the world. The final of the 201,213 tournament had the competition's highest TV ratings to date, drawing approximately 360 million television viewers. Records and statistics. A indicates the player was from the European Cup era. Players taking part in the 2021 UEFA Champions League are highlighted in boldface. The table below does not include goals scored in the qualification stage of the competition. Players that are still active in Europe are highlighted in boldface. The table below does not include appearances made in the qualification stage of the competition.